Boss coming live and direct from London, England. I've got the All Blacks winning mentality on my mind this evening in relations to the Reggae Boyz. Like, share and subscribe. I have the Reggae Boyz in the bosom of my heart. I'm keeping things real. For the Reggae Boyz to overcome on-field and, importantly, off-field issues and challenges, which the Reason Boss has always said Jamaica face, take a leaf out of the All Blacks New Zealand rugby union team. Jason Ryan, their forwards coach, employed to turn around the fortunes of the New Zealand team, made a comment about the New Zealanders. It was all about staying focused, digging deep in training, having each other's backs, making no excuses, learning from past mistakes, learning from past defeats, and having those experiences embolden them, strengthening in them to get the job done going forward. Let me link this to football. Currently, Italy are taking on England, apparently the team that's no good, according to some coaches. There's am I right? I think you're wrong. Managed by Gareth Southgate, an excessively defensive coach. Him no good. There are levels to this game. European finalists playing a brand of football with a band of players, a band united with quality. They are an example that the Reggae Boyz could follow. How and why? Southgate, serious, professional. The All Blacks, serious and professional. The Italian coach, former Napoli manager Spalletti, made a comment and related and pointed to the All Blacks. Crossover, the Reason Boss. Like, share and subscribe. Always on the lookout for nuggets of wisdom and knowledge. Spalletti made a comment in an interview recently when he said the New Zealanders, those All Blacks, are extremely serious and professional. The professionalism and seriousness of the New Zealanders is something that he wanted his Italian team to take a leaf out of the book from. The Italians, who failed to make the World Cup in Qatar, having won the European Championships, have been dealt some injury blows and some off-field blows that have affected the likes of the availability of Newcastle's newly signed Tonali. Spalletti said, I'm not making any excuses. I'm not going to have it. Simply put, I am coaching the team. Menagabal. My Lord. I'm coaching the team. It's an honor, a privilege, I believe is the word he used. And if it... oh, God. Hold it steady, I say. If Italy don't beat England, which is what we are aiming to do, said Spalletti, that means it's on me. It's on me! Not the players, not the opposition. England are good. Only need a draw to make the Euros for 2024. Despite coming up against the likes of Bellingham, Foden, Rashford, Kane, should I go on Declan Rice, Phillips, Pickford. He was in it to win it. No excuses guaranteed. Attitude. It spoke volumes. It touched my heart. And I thought of my beloved. Hold it! My beloved Reggae Boyz. Big up Reggae Boyz. Coach Jaime, Hal Grimson. I'm going to say something. Me don't know if you're gonna like it. Me don't know if you're gonna like it. But me gonna say it. I'm going to speak. Jaime Helgrimson could be the next Rennie Samoes. He, in my opinion, he has the right stuff, the courage to make the tough decisions, the professionalism, an eye for football, to ensure that Jamaica bring the best out of the abilities that they possess. Like, share and subscribe. The All Blacks have been through ups and downs despite being the premier rugby union team in the world. And yet, despite opportunities to make excuses, they've not reached for them. They've dug deep, looked inside themselves. What can we do better? It's not a case of money. It's about character, belief, resolve, determination. These things are free and available to the Reggae Boyz, freely available to the Jamaican coaching staff, and freely available as the 12th man to the Reggae Boyz fans. Me, you, us, a group, content creators, we max it, JD, I am sure sports, Manning Man, my lord, through to MG Sports, Halftime TV, Formula Sports. We have a responsibility. We have the opportunity to be that 12th man. Ryan LFC, am I speaking? I'm not reaching for the bag of excuses. Oh no, let's keep it real. Seriousness and professionalism. Should I call a spade a spade? Should I call a spade a spade? I'm going to speak. From London, England, like, share and subscribe. Thank you to all the subscribers who have been giving us strength to reach Po Sports. Big up yourself, JT Taylor, Sports Prophecy, TV, Cataract, big up yourself, Stan Kroenke, big up yourself. Engaged in some arguments earlier. I saw a stream earlier where professionalism and serious, excuse me, professionalism and seriousness came into the equation. I'm going to hold my composure and let the words be the quality to have your attention, viewers and subscribers. A hearty thanks again to one and all who are making Rich Po Sports thrive and drive. The JFF do not have a bag of money. They don't have everything at their disposal and are not in the position, maybe financially, shall we say, compared to the likes of an England or France, who have so many resources at hand. However, my lord, when I heard a debate about such individual players not being available due to traveling difficulties, I started to reflect on the seriousness and the professionalism argument that Spalletti had identified with the All Blacks. Excuses, the drama, excuses, drama, excuses, rinse and repeat. Me no know them something there. I believe that Coach Jaime Helgrimson will have been acutely aware of the resources, personnel at his disposal. In short, if he wanted to have certain players at his disposal, for example, a Cephas, Ronaldo Cephas. Cephas is so fast, and yet speed alone doesn't quite cut it necessarily. Of course, there's the geopolitical situations that may have made travel to represent Jamaica a challenge to the JFF. However, hear me now, Coach Helgrimson and the staff had at their disposal, the likes of Mikel Antonio, ring a bell, West Ham United, European Conference winner, Leon Bailey, Aston Villa, Premier League player, Damari Gray, a player who has simply hit the ground running and has shown the watching CONCACAF world that the levels to this game are indeed real. He has hit the ground running, adapted to conditions, and is a surefire fixture in the Reggae Boyz starting 11. Bowser looking good. A move engineered and organized to play in the French League has paid dividends. Looking good for Jamaica. A forward physical presence, a player capable of holding up the ball and capable of bagging a goal or two, giving the opposition's defenders something to think about. In short, do we need, as day follows night, compulsorily a CFAS, particularly for this particular campaign? 2 games played, 2 games effectively sorted out. Grenada seen to, Haiti seen to, dealt with the matter. Now on the cusp of Copa America qualification. I think that's job well done. Jaime Helgrimson's getting the results in that second half performance. I saw real shoots of optimism where Antonio, Gray, Bailey, amongst others, Latibadair, showing their chops. Deshaun Bernard getting further experience in the defence. The solid Blake, Lembekisi, understanding what's required and putting in a hard shift. DJ getting the chance to show his creative ability in the midfield. In short, Coach Jaime has players at his disposal. A band of brothers being collected. CFAS is a forward. I think Jamaica have a sufficient abundance indeed of forward players. It's the midfield area that is particularly challenging in the Reason Boss's opinion and a number of Jamaican fans' opinion, certainly amongst the content creators worth their salt. What do we do about that? Do we use our illogical powers to magically turn a Latibadair into a Casimiro, into a Rodri, a Declan Rice, currently dealing with the matter against Italy? Or do we roll up our sleeves and say we deal with the cards we're dealt with? Latibadair showing ability in the midfield, learning each and every time, improving, spraying passes. Has anyone talked about Ryan? Ryan, have you talked about the passing ability of Joel Latibadair? It was on show against Haiti, particularly in the second half. I believe he's growing into his role. Coach Jaime Helgrimson has that All Blacks mentality. I believe that seriousness and professionalism that Spalletti of Italy spoke of. Again, Spalletti himself, no excuses guaranteed. We play with who we play with as a band of brothers. Making excuses about who should be here and who's not there. No, it's accountability, personal pride. How many teams have gone under the radar? How many teams have had financial difficulties, challenges, technical-wise, logistical-wise, and yet have bestrode the world stage and given us so much entertainment over the years. I've been watching football for a while. The likes of Cameroon, Roger Milla, old man Roger Milla, dancing in the corner by the flagpole. Roger Milla delivered. What were their challenges? Cats, good night, Cats. Good night and full respect. Thank you for agreeing with the Reason Boss. Hit the like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for giving us strength and giving some feedback. I'm speaking. Shooting from the hip and shooting from the lip. The likes of Cameroon. Respect, Cats. Respects. Thank you. The likes of Cameroon. The likes of Costa Rica, the likes of Trinidad and Tobago have made World Cup finals, despite no doubt many a challenge. As I said, the All Blacks, despite the financial challenges that they have, in spite of the financial positive elements that they have, No excuses guaranteed. What makes the All Blacks stand out is their resolve, their determination, the ability to train bone hard, give themselves every opportunity to show the pride they have in donning the All Blacks jersey. The shirt I have on, Seleção, Brazil, currently going through the World Cup qualification in South America. They face challenges, having been knocked out by Croatia in the quarterfinals of the last World Cup. They face challenges. Should they be offering a bag of excuses, or are they going to reach within? Big up, full respect, cats. Should they face and call out and take out the bag of excuses from their bag, or do they look around at each other and understand the needs of the coach, understand what every player can bring to the party? I remember Brazil, I'm going to call a spade a spade. Me not switch or change or rearrange. Brazil lack at the moment a creative outlet. Luca Paqueta of West Ham is that missing link. However, they've got to make do with what they've got. I remember in Qatar, and I'm going to link this to Ronaldo Cephas for an example. Who's the best player in the world? Watch out. I'm going to give you an answer to that. Great question. Great question. Lucas Paqueta was a terrific player for Brazil in Qatar. However, they came up short. They came up short. It was on them. Moving forward, they've got to ask the questions. Is Neymar going to be one for the next World Cup? Against Croatia, Richarlison, who shines for Brazil and was shining for Brazil, he was making the difference for Brazil. However, picking up an injury against Croatia in the quarterfinals, he was compromised and Brazil were compromised. They had to dig deep. Who was available? Here we go now. Remember Cephas. Remember Cephas. Pedro, the sole Brazilian striker forward, plying his trade in Brazil, just about made the squad. Last gasp, made the squad. At the sacrifice of the likes of Roberto Firmino of Liverpool. And yet, Pedro, when introduced to the fray, was found wanting. Pedro understood, the world understood, the reason boss understood. There are levels to this game. Pedro could not make the difference. He was struggling. Cephas is not a necessary requirement. Brazil and Jamaica have players in the forward areas. They can be relied on to succeed and deliver. Antonio, Demarai Gray, Leon Bailey, Bobby Reid. I'm not mentioning Whisper. Yes, I'm aware of Whisper. Whisper was taken off at half-time. There were levels to this game. He's still learning the trade. No problem in learning the trade. Dan Carter, way back in 2003 in the Rugby World Cup, was learning the trade. However, I saw talent in Dan Carter, who happened to be arguably one of the greatest players in rugby union's history. Back then, he was 20 years old in 2003, and I said, wait a minute, that guy there, get that guy playing in centre. Get him in centre. The coach decided no. He went with the experienced player. Major, they lost that particular game. Did they make a barrel of excuses? There were some excuses, but the bottom line was the coach made his decision. It is what it is. Whisper is not currently ready, in my opinion, but he can get valuable experience as and when in the camp and be pushed to higher heights. But there are deeper depths to the game of football. Pedro came up short. Cephas is not necessarily needed. If in need, i.e. Jamaica, then I'm sure Coach Jaime Algrimson will reach out to him some way, somehow. But there are logistics, of course, considerations. But as I say, keeping it professional, keeping it serious, the job can be done with the personnel we have currently, we're not going to be squeezing in a player that may not be able to get on the ball enough, because back to that midfield conundrum, that pink elephant, that white elephant in the room, that's where one of the biggest challenges Jamaica faces is in the midfield. CFAS is no midfield operator. Let me go to the comment section here. Cats, let me see now. Who is the best player in the world? It's so difficult. There are levels to this. Rodri is an outstanding central defensive midfield player. They don't get the plaudits oftentimes. Rodri is arguably one of the best players in the world right now. Mbappe, I saw his 2 goals. Did you see his 2 goals against the Netherlands to book and seal a place for the French in the European Championship finals in 2024? Seeing those performances, you'd say, wow, take a good player to be ahead of Mbappe. However, Mbappe, the same Mbappe, represented PSG against Newcastle United in the Champions League. They were humbled 4-1, taken to the cleaners 4-1. Mbappe cut a solitary, shadowy figure. There are levels to this. Rodri is a fantastic player. Mbappe, ability-wise, his ceiling, you'd say that he arguably is the best player in the world. But as I said, Rodri, I've got to give a salutes. There are levels to this game. And Rodri, his ability for Spain and for Manchester City particularly, outstanding. But it's a very subjective thing. Defenders are there. Midfielders, the forwards. Haaland, is he the best player in the world? One of them. There are levels. I've called out a few names. What do you think? What do you think, Cats? Let me see where else I know. You see this now? You think Richarlison played the best in the World Cup? No doubt. Absolutely agree. He was on point. I had nothing but praise for Richarlison in the World Cup. Alas, when he picked up that injury, unfortunate, very unfortunate, and it hampered Brazil. However, that game against Croatia should have been locked, done and dusted. Tiiddllyywwiinnkks, the coach, came up short. The players came up short. They were all over Croatia, had plenty of chances to get the job done. Neymar scoring in extra time should have, with that wonderful goal in liaison with Paqueta, should have locked that game up. And in my opinion, watch this, the hard decisions need to be made sometime. I believe Neymar should have been replaced. They brought on Freddy, but Freddy was caught up somehow in an attack when the game should have been locked down, locked and locked. Neymar looked knackered, should have been brought off in my opinion. He was not. The rest, as they say, is history. But Richarlison, he was the point man when Brazil needed the goal. He was there to score goals, and score goals he did. He did. And I wish him well, going through a couple of situations on and off the field. Currently at Spurs, challenging times. May get a starting berth. I think they're playing against Uruguay in World Cup qualifications in Uruguay. Gabriel Jesus may be pressing for a place. We'll see if Richarlison starts. He's huffing and puffing, but he's no Ronaldo, he's no Careca, he's no Romario. But then again, who is? We want the very best of Richarlison. All the best, my brother. You've got a lot of things to say, and I'm very pleased that you do have. Let me see and let me respond to you. Big up. Cats, do you think Neymar would have won any World Cup if it wasn't for injuries? You know your football. In 2014, Brazil had a chance in their home World Cup of lifting the World Cup. However, of course, that 7-1, my Lord, Maracana nightmare, put pay to that. Neymar, of course, was out injured in that game, taken out brutally during their win over Colombia. He was playing so well that the Colombians thought the best way to deal with him was to get rough and rowdy with him. Took him out. The rest is history. 2014, that has outside chance. The likes of Hulk and Freddy proved challenging as forwards. Neymar was doing a lot of the work where the attacking third was concerned. And that was a challenge. In 2000, An 18 in Russia, another opportunity for Brazil to win. And Neymar again came into that tournament. Injuries going in, made it in time, just about recovered, was nursing himself through the games. And then Fernandinho came in for Casemiro, who was playing wonderfully well as a central defensive midfield player. Picked up a second yellow card, meant that he was suspended for the game against Belgium, one of the arguably the finest game in that World Cup in Russia. A wonderful World Cup, by the way, in my opinion. I don't know what you thought of it, Kat. Did you enjoy it? Did you remember that one? Fernandinho had the job of dealing with the likes of De Bruyne and Lukaku. They made mincemeat of Fernandinho of Manchester City. They dealt with him, and Fernandinho's international career came to an abrupt halt. But in De Bruyne, the rampaging Lukaku, two quality players, nothing against Fernandinho. Casemiro was the man for that occasion. And Neymar, if he had gotten through and Brazil had gotten through that game against Belgium, they had a chance of lifting that 2018 World Cup, eventually won by France and the burgeoning talent of Mbappe to the fore. So yes, injuries have played a part. The last World Cup in Qatar, Neymar was in very good shape. I thought that we saw a mature Neymar in that World Cup. For PSG, he was not only scoring goals, but he was providing assists for his teammates at PSG. He wasn't holding on and dwelling on the ball as long and as much as he used to, favoring dribbling, stopping dribbling party tricks and being fouled and getting injured. It happened again in the World Cup in Russia. It happened in Russia and then it happened in Qatar. Was playing pretty well, but hanging on to the ball again. Stop hanging on to the ball so long, Neymar, and particularly getting fouled in midfield areas where you're not going to be drawing a red card from the opposite opponent. You're not giving away, they're not giving away free kicks on the edge of the penalty area. They're not giving away penalties as a result of you being fouled in the area, Neymar Jr. Party tricks and dwelling on the ball deep in your own half, in the center circle. No need. The man's in his 30s now. I thought that we were going to see the very best of Neymar, mentally and physically. Alas, he missed out a game because of injury, came back again, and as I said, he had the chance to win that game and should have been taken off. But sometimes the hard decisions aren't made and taken, and that was all she wrote. Croatia, big up. Plenty of extra time for them, experienced legs, aging legs, and yet somehow they got the job done. There were levels to this game. The World Cup, by the way, for Brazil in Qatar, I thought that they definitely had a chance of winning that World Cup, but the Achilles heel, I thought, was the likes of Vinicius Jr., Rafinha, Anthony, Guimarães, many a player, Rodrigo of Real Madrid. They may have felt it's too easy. Is this? Look to my left, look to the right. We're a bag of talent. So much talent here. How come these guys like Messi and Neymar and Thiago Silva have not won the World Cup? Yeah, this is how we do it. No problem. We'll get this job done. After you mash up South Korea and teach, doing the dance, the pigeon. You remember the pigeon dance? After the goal, Charleston was part of the pigeon dance. Lord have mercy. I said, wait a minute. Cheech may have gotten too close to the players. I thought it was a good thing to see them dancing. But was he steely enough to make the tough decisions, telling the players, hey, what, lock this game down. Hey, what, business comes first. All blacks style. You see the connection? Seriousness and professionalism can take you far. That winning mentality. No one knows the pain you're going through. But as a band of brothers, you know you've got a determination to be the best you can be. You train hard, you work hard, you think football. You put in the hard yards. Dedicated, the extra heart, passion, desire, drive pays dividends. Let me see what else is going on here. Let me see. Cats, full respect. Let me see. I need to answer where you're coming from. So let me reason with your good self. Yes. So yes, Neymar, It's not a gimme to win the World Cup. It's not a gimme. So barring the injuries, he would have had a better chance, of course, to win the World Cup. But he needs to get his head in the right place, use the footballing IQ, and of course the team has to be together to win. Cats, yeah, thank you. Did you see Greece? I saw. No, I didn't see. I'm gonna see the Netherlands game. My family is home. I've not seen the Greece Netherlands game, but I'm going to see it. I'm going to check out the game, and I'll see if the referee was indeed unfair. But the Netherlands fighting to make European Championship 2024. I did understand from ESPN that it was one of the boring games. I don't know. We'll soon find out. Let me see. Let me field this last question before I bid you adieu. Longer than I thought, but full respect. Who do you think is the best goalkeeper for Brazil? Alisson or Edison? Alisson or Edison? Happy birthday, son. Who is the best keeper? Let me tell you something, cats. Brazil are blessed. Jamaica, funny enough, I believe, are blessed with some quality goalkeepers. That's one of the strengths of their team for the Reggae Boyz. I think that Alisson is the #1 goalkeeper for Brazil, but it's so close because Edison is just as good. He's got qualities. I think he's better on the ball. If you want a goalkeeper who plays out with using his feet, Edison, I think, has the edge. For goalkeeping saves, I would give the advantage to Alisson, but they're blessed. Thank you, cats. Thank you, cats. The balloon, is that the one? Yes, that's the very balloon there. Yes, he's just been out for an evening with his godmother. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Peace and love. Like, share, and subscribe. I hope to see you again. Thank you very much for rapping and rapporting with me. Like, share, and subscribe. Share the video and keep it footballing. Love all the way. Yes, he's quite happy there. Happy birthday, son. Peace and love. Thank you very much. Cats, are you a man or a woman? You can't take anything for granted in this world, you know. Are you male or female, man or woman? Not that it makes any particular difference, but I'm giving you full respects for joining. Big up yourself. Big up yourself, big man. Yes, Parry. I tell reasoning. Bless up. And thank you for saying happy birthday to my son. A very responsible, heartfelt comment, and I appreciate that, cats. Big up yourself. By the way, who do you think is Brazil's best goalkeeper? Edison or Alisson? Not sure who's going to get the start. Denis, the temporary coach for Brazil, he's been picking Edison, as I'm sure you probably are aware of, and Edison's been doing a pretty good job. And as a second keeper, who's a world-class keeper, I'm particularly happy. As a Seleção and Reggae Boyz fan, I'm happy that Edison's getting the experience to start the games for Brazil. So come a World Cup, come a Copa America, either one of them are going to be ready, and Edison particularly will have that experience, not just sitting on the bench, but starting games. So I'm happy, and I'm sure Alisson is happy. And meanwhile, when they're training, the competition to be the starter is still keen. But playing for the Seleção, representing the Seleção, it's all-in Band of Brothers business. Edison, you say Anderson. Anderson. I think it's Edison, Ederson, but I hear what you're saying. Edison, listen, closely contested, so big up yourself from full respect for that. He's a fantastic keeper. I tell you what, he's in my fantasy football league team. Last season it was Alisson. This season it's Edison. So he must be doing something right, because he's a very good goalkeeper for Man City. Absolutely. And interestingly enough, Man City, who have got fantastic ability to hold on to the ball, possess the ball, they are so good. He doesn't hardly have anything to do at times, but when called to action, he delivers. Listen, like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to give the family some time. Thanks for giving time to Richpole Sports from London, England. Big up yourself and keep the lines open and keep it locked and docked for Richpole Sports and vitally for the Reggae Boyz. We as the 12th man are so important. Seriousness and professionalism. No excuses guaranteed. When Mr. King, big up yourself. Like, share, and subscribe each and every time to viewers and subscribers on the rerun. Cats has been locked in and delivering an outstanding show. Cats, big up yourself each and every time. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for sharing and asking top questions and enjoy the rest of the week. I'm going to check out England versus Italy. Spalletti, the coach of Italy, ex-Napoli, saying no excuses guaranteed. He's taken a leaf from the All Blacks book. Reggae boys, take note. Peace and guidance every time. Yeah, man.